Welcome to the Ruden Report podcast. I'm Dave Ruden, and the topic is baseball again this week. Joining me right now, I'm going to be throwing a lot of statistics at you just to talk about my guest's athleticism this past year. And right now is from the new Canaan baseball team, Alex Benevento. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining me here. You've had an incredible year so far, and I wrote about this yesterday. This is pretty wild to me, but yesterday you played Danbury, and you went 2 for 3 with 2 home runs, drove in all 3 of your team's runs, and then the game before against Staples, you went 1 for 2, so you went 3 for 5. And given the start, that constitutes a slump for you because, and this has to be one of the best starts in FCIAC history. Your first 3 games, you were batting 1,000, so you were 8 for 8, and you reached base 4 times walking. So I got to ask you, after going 3 for 5, did you go to batting cages and try to work your way out of this?
No. I mean, I'm obviously very, very blessed and very fortunate to kind of have the start that I've had. And honestly, obviously those numbers are never going to be sustainable. So, it's going to come eventually. But yeah, I've been very fortunate to start out the way that I've been
You're
able to
not
do.
going to be able to keep this 846 batting average up all year?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, it's what makes this all the more impressive. And I talked to your coach and Staples coach Jack McFarland after the game on Monday. But you guys have had more rainouts starting the week than you had games. It's so hard to get into a rhythm and have a groove, and you've just been unbelievable. Is there anything when you're in a groove like that? Is there anything when you're up at the plate that's different than when you're just hitting what you normally do, or even if you're in a slump?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you feel good. You have a little bit more confidence normally, but it's just for me, I just try and stick to the same rhythm, and even if like I'll feel something in my swing, I'll tell myself, like don't change anything just yet. Like wait a little bit because for something's working here. So I think really it's just kind of comes down to a confidence thing, with baseball being such a tough mental game. Like if you're feeling good, you just kind of stay with it and try to ride it as long as you can.
When you made your first start of the year Monday against Staples, what was it like walking back to the dugout after the first time not staying out on the base paths?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple laughs from the dugout, but I mean, yeah, it's gonna happen eventually. You kind of tell yourself that, so you just kind of move on. But yeah, it was interesting. It was fun.
Have you ever had a 5 game stretch like this in your career?
Definitely not high school career. And honestly, going into the season, I wasn't feeling great. The scrimmages, I think I had 1 hit in the total of like we played 4 scrimmages. I was kind of struggling a little bit, and then for some reason, I was able to come out. So I was pleasantly surprised with the way I was able to come out. So. I'm never in my life if I had a stretch kind of like what I'm having right now.
What about the team in general? You started out 3-0. You entered this week. You only had played 3 games in 2 weeks, and then you've had a couple of disappointing losses the last 2 days against Staples and yesterday Danbury. 2 good teams, obviously. What's the mood right now? You have a game this afternoon as we tape this. What's the mood right now after a couple losses?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the mood's going to go down a little bit with like a few losses, but we're still very confident in ourselves. I feel like, I mean, I'm very confident in all my teammates and going out there every day and competing with those guys. So, but yeah, obviously a couple losses, you're going to be a little bit down, but it's very early in the season. We understand that. And baseball is such a game of ebbs and flows, and things are going to drop. Some things are going to go your way sometimes, some things you aren't. You just got to be able to handle the adversity a little bit and, kind of just keep going and keep pushing. Like whether things fall in your favor or they don't, you just kind of got to keep level headed and keep playing. So we're excited because what our coach Bloss always likes to say, he likes to say that the best thing about baseball is, that we get to play again in 24 hours sometimes. And so that's kind of been the story for us, kind of just turn the page and move on and see what we can do the next day.
Has it been? And I mean, you're hitting so well. It's maybe it's different from you than everybody else, but maybe you see it in the field too. Is it just has it been hard for you, or maybe just hard for the team to get into a rhythm? And how frustrating is it when you wake up on game morning and it's pouring outside?
Yeah, I know, definitely. The rain has kind of been bothersome, and for some reason, the rain just loves to find us. I mean, the same thing happened in football season. I mean, we were always getting rained on, but football's different. You got some turf, so it doesn't interrupt you that much. But yeah, I'd say it's definitely hard to get into a rhythm sometimes, but we're just excited to be able to play every time we get to go out there. And if the game gets moved, it's kind of like whatever, like we'll play whenever we want or whenever they're able to make up the game. And so yeah, it's a little frustrating to like kind of get yourself ready. Like I know Danbury, when we were supposed to play him our first time, like we had our whole like hour and a half warm up just for the game to kind of get called 5 minutes before we are about to start. So like stuff like that can kind of be a little disappointing sometimes, but just we know we're gonna make up the games, and we're just ready, try to be ready to play whenever we get to.
You guys were talked up as a sleeper at the beginning of the year. Obviously, offense is going to be one of the team's biggest strengths. What's your view as you take a little peek about what other teams have done this first quarter of the season, knowing what you have, where do you see as the potential for New Canaan this spring?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, I think our bats is a very strong suit. But I think we got a really nice pitching staff too. I mean, Jack Jensen's had a really nice bounce back start to the year. I mean, he was only able to pitch around 10 innings last year, and he's come back. He's done a really nice job through his first couple starts. Gets a little banged up versus Staples, but he'll be back. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. And there's other guys, Aiden Gray, Zach Joslin, who are going to be in our rotation too. Zach's coming off a really nice year last year. Aiden too, going to Sacred Heart now. I mean, I'm really excited to see what he's going to be able to do. And I mean, in terms of the bats, I mean, a bunch of guys in our order really worked hard during the offseason. I think they're going to be able to come out and swing it. And really, I think it's just going to come down, coming to the field every day, focused. I mean, I feel like if we play at our best, we can beat a lot of the teams out there. And, but there are some really talented teams out there too. You see Warden Trumbull playing today. I mean, those guys over there every year in and out, those guys are always really good. And there's a bunch of strong programs in the FCAC. And, no game really is a rollover game in this league. So you kind of got to come and play at your best. And I feel like if we come at our best, we got to make other teams beat us and not kind of beat ourselves. So, I feel like if we're playing at our best, we have a really good shot to beat anyone in this league, even with how talented of a league that we're in.
We're gonna get to your football stats in a second because they're pretty incredible too, for a different reason, but right up there with what you've done so far baseball. But you're gonna go play baseball at Brown next year. Uh, was it a hard decision between baseball and football, or did you know all along you wanted to play baseball at the next level?
I kind of knew all along that I thought baseball was kind of going to be the way that I was going to go, and obviously breaking my arm my junior year for football kind of also pushed football a little bit more to the back burner in terms of like potential to get recruited and stuff like that. I didn't really have as much film on the football field as I would need to get recruited for football, but I mean, just in general, baseball was always kind of the mindset that I had and the sport that I kind of wanted to pursue.
Well, why don't we get into some? I just did a little bit of research though. With you, there's a lot to remember off the top of my head from a few months ago, but I'll throw some statistics here at everybody. You had 1,381 total yards, and that's split up in a way that I don't remember seeing from anybody. 419 rushing, 160 receiving, 648 on return yards, kickoff and punt return, and 154 on interception return yards. I guess you had a pretty versatile season, and we'll get to a few more stats after that. But first of all, you talked about your broken arm and how you had to miss your junior season. What was it like? You guys ended up winning the state championship. You got to beat your biggest rival, Darien. You got to score the winning touchdown with 2.5 minutes to go in a 28-21 game. So obviously it was a great year for New Canaan. It was a great year for Alex Benevento. What was that like after all you went through junior year?
I mean, yeah, I was really excited. It was really exciting just in general, after losing my junior season to kind of come back. I hadn't been able to be on a football field in so long. So like that first day in pads was just so exciting for me. And, one thing, that team is just so special to me. I mean, I feel like we all came together really well. I mean, a lot of those guys all throughout each class are some of my closest friends now. And, I was just really proud. I thought it wasn't really like one person a lot of the time doing the job. I mean, it was so many people contributing in so many different places on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I feel like we were all just working together as a unit. You know, we kind of felt that if we stuck together, you know, things were going to work out, and luckily they did.
You had again 17 touchdowns, 9 rushing, 2 receiving, 3 on kickoff returns, and 3 on interception returns. You were kind of well, you were all state. You were one of the best defensive backs in the state. And then they pick and chose where they were going to use you on offense. Do you have a favorite part of football? Did you like playing defense more than offense? Did you like being on special teams more? You're successful at all of it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I've always kind of enjoyed defense a lot. Just kind of making tackles and just kind of like the freedom to kind of just kind of read the play and do everything that you're able to do. But yeah, I mean, it's really kind of just a story of, you know, wherever the coaches need me, I try to be wherever I could and help out wherever I could, whether that be helping out maybe some young guys, but also kind of helping out all over the field in any way I could. But yeah, I would say I've always kind of had a little bit of a little bit of a heart for defense, I guess you could say.
And then two other things, I guess you could call it, that really is pretty incredible is the Turkey Bowl, the biggest rivalry football game in the state, Darien, New Canaan, and you return the opening kickoff for a touchdown to kind of set the tone to a nice win. And then you liked it so much that you returned the opening kickoff again in your next game, which was the state playoff opener against Killingly. Well, what's that like when when you return the opening kickoff for a score and I mean, 2 games where you're really pumped up for your biggest rival, and a game where if you don't win, you're done for the year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's very special. The opening kickoff of the Turkey Bowl, it's something that I was dreaming of for a long time. You know, I was talking to my teammates being like, "Oh, what if like this would be crazy?" And it was just really exciting. But it also just one thing, it eases the nerves a lot, and those are the 2 biggest games of the year at up to that point. And so, able to kind of put a score up early, obviously kind of settles everyone down, you kind of get into a rhythm. But yeah, I mean, it's just really exciting, something I'm never gonna forget.
Yeah, after the frustration of your junior year, where you have to watch from the sidelines, and the team wins a state championship, and not being able to be a part of it in terms of being on the field, I have to imagine it was special not only being back, but to have what I think you could call a dream season.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, everything, I mean, it all just kind of laid out for me, and I was so thankful for everything, especially like you said, after losing that year and kind of having to watch from the sidelines. Like I was so happy for those guys, everything that they did, but I mean, just having to watch from the sidelines was really tough. And so being able to come back and have the season that I did and, just be able to spend that last couple of months with some of my best friends, just playing the sport that we all love. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. It was really special.
You're one of actually several players that play football and baseball, but that's kind of a dying thing right now. If we go look on the New Canaan lacrosse team, you have a lot more football players than you do with baseball. What's it like for youth sports now? Do more kids just? I always look at it. I played baseball, but there wasn't lacrosse growing up, and I'm old. But I kind of look at it like, if you're a kid now and you go out in the baseball field and you may not have a ball hit to you for a long time, and you're used to being stimulated on an iPad or doing whatever you're doing, where lacrosse, you're running around a little bit more. What's the dynamic like? Did you ever try lacrosse?
Yeah, I played lacrosse up until about 5th or 6th grade. And I mean, I did love it. Baseball for me was always something that I loved a little bit more. And we really do just have, I mean, obviously like New Canaan, everyone kind of points to it as a football lacrosse town, but we do really have a great support group of baseball here as well. A lot of people that do care about the sport. And so anyone who is interested in baseball, there's such a great group of people around you to kind of hold you up, teach you the ways, and kind of like really foster that excitement. And so I think, yeah, like you said, a lot of people do lean more towards lacrosse, but it's still a great town to grow up, play baseball in as well.
No, New Canaan's always been is always competitive every year.
Mhm.
Is there anything from your football experiences that you take with you into a baseball season?
Yeah, I think definitely the mental side because with baseball, like I said earlier, being such a mental sport, kind of like the ebbs and flows of football as well, and trying to like just stay even headed, like don't let the highs get too high, the lows get too low. I mean, like you said, like in that championship game, I mean, we were down with we were down a touchdown with 5 minutes to go when they had the ball in our end zone. It's like, you just got to learn to try and not get too down and, stay level headed. So when you have to come up and make another big play, you kind of got to be ready. So I kind of try and take that mindset into baseball and every at bat, turning the page, maybe make a frustrating out, maybe make an error in the field. You just kind of, like I said, turn the page and kind of get over it to make sure that you make the next play.
Obviously, your goals for the rest of the season and your career at New Canaan, you want to win an FCX, you want to win a state title.
Yeah.
Do you have any individual goals?
I mean, not specifically. I mean, numbers are numbers. I just really want to have a just positive season, and kind of like I said with football, have a really tight team, guys that are just trying to work together and win. And I mean, it's more of a team culture, like goals for me that are more important than maybe these specific individual statistics. I mean, I just kind of want to be someone that can help bring the team together and help us win.
How much, and you kind of touched on it. What's it like when you have a sport taken away from you because of an injury and the level of appreciation to have the kind of senior year you've had and are still having?
Yeah, I mean, it really is special. Sports to me have always been really important in my life. It's where I've made a majority of my friends and a majority of like my memories from my childhood. So, losing that one year and then being able to come back and have the year that I've had, so many core memories and so many core friendships that I've made just this year alone, with being able to come back and, enjoy the sports that I love playing. And so, I mean, it's definitely in my life, it's been very important to me and very special to me because, I mean, like I said, these are just memories and friendships that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Has it started to hit you? It's almost over.
Yeah, a little bit with our internships coming up in a couple weeks, last April break and summer kind of approaching. Yeah, it's definitely starting to hit me a little bit that I'm gonna have to graduate this summer, but we're just gonna try and enjoy and cherish what we have left.
Well, Alex, it's been a lot of fun and it still is fun covering you and just looking at your body of work. I'm sure we'll have I may have to have you back on in 6 weeks or so because I'm sure you've got one or two statistical marvels left in you, but congratulations on what you've done so far. It's been an incredible year for you, and I wish you and New Canaan the best of luck the rest of the way. And thanks a lot for taking a few minutes here to talk with me about it.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Dave.
All right, well, that's the Ruden Report podcast this week. Again, I want to thank my guest, Alex Benevento from New Canaan football and baseball team. I want to thank Cooper Boardman for the sound editing. We'll be back again next week. Until then, take care.